feel like that when it comes to the Southeast, it's not even close. We've been to Birmingham. We've come here more than any other city. It can't even be remotely close. And everybody tells me that it has something to do with we did this event y'all had back here called Bama Rising a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I can remember when they told me about that. They said, yeah, we're just going to be a bunch of guys and girls go down there, and we're going to play acoustic, and we're going to raise some money. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, I'm in. And I showed up, and we pulled in the parking lot, and it was just bus after bus after bus after bus. And I was like, wow, man. A lot of these people went all out, and they brought their own bus, and they wanted to be comfortable. It's not that far of a drive. And I found out quickly that I was literally the only act that didn't bring their band. And so I went out there at this huge arena with just an acoustic guitar. And I wish I could tell you the words I was saying to my manager. They weren't friendly. And really ever since then, it's just, I feel like we kind of had a special relationship. So whenever we come here, I feel like, obviously we're close to home, but it's just kind of felt like there are certain cities that we go to throughout the country, and this is definitely the place in this part of the country where we feel the most at home. And so I feel like that we have a pretty special relationship. How I'm going to segue to that is I would like to do something quasi-special for you, as in do a song that I don't care how many of y'all have ever seen us play before. You've never heard me do this song ever. You're supposed to act somewhat excited. Man, I'm having to coach y'all a lot. I feel like Saban. Like a friendlier version, So this next song, I'll keep this as brief as possible. My father, when I first started singing, and people would say, so what does he sound like? My dad would say, well, he sounds like a cross between Kenny Loggins and Garth Brooks. I really don't know to this day how he came up with that combination, but I heard it for a long time, and it would always bother me. I never really knew exactly why it bothered me, but it just did. Probably because my dad said it. But when I moved to Nashville, people would automatically, I was nervous as a small town kid from Southeast Missouri in Nashville, and geez, I thought Nashville was huge then. I can't imagine what I would think now. But people would automatically, that would be the first thing they would ask us, so what do you sound like? Well, I sound like Kenny Loggins and Garth Brooks. And I'll never forget the first guy, I was at a studio getting ready to do some guitar vocals, and this guy asked me that, and I told him, and he said, well, we got a Kenny Loggins, and we got a Garth Brooks. So what does David Nail sound like? And as a guy who had flunked college algebra 4 times, that just blew my mind. I was like, I don't even know what that means, but I can tell it's not a compliment. And so I immediately went home, and I always just sang any song that was on the radio, as much music as I possibly could get a hold of, but I never really put a whole lot of time into me and the type of artist I wanted to be, and not necessarily how I wanted to sound like, but what did David Nail sound like if he wasn't singing a Garth Brooks song, or I never sang Kenny Loggins. I don't know where that came from. Not that there's anything wrong with Kenny. But I went to Walmart, and I got this little cassette recorder where you could kind of sing into a built-in microphone, and I would just pick these random songs that I had never really sang that much, and I recorded. This was one of the first ones I ever did, and I didn't really know it was good or not, but a couple of years ago I had to do a cover song on a radio show, and I did this, and a couple people, Tim McGraw being one, called in and said it was really good. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's going to be my go-to. I haven't done it really that much since, but I'm gonna do it tonight. Mainly because I did it a few weeks ago, and my mom said, very ironic that you chose to do that song so often these days, especially with what's going on in the world today. And I think the next time I sang it, I was like, I almost cried at every line because I was thinking about what my mama said, and I'm a mama's boy, so. I should quit talking. It's a snowflake cold and gray Chicago morning. Another little baby child is born in the ghetto. And his mama cries. As if there's one thing she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto. People, don't you understand? This child needs a helping hand. He wrote to be an angry young man someday. Take a look at me. Are we too blind to see? Do we see we turn our heads and look the other way? When the world turns, hungry little boy with a runny nose plays in the street as the cold wind blows in the ghetto. And his hunger burns, so he starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal, and he learns how to fight in the ghetto. Then one night in desperation, a young man breaks away. He buys a gun, steals a car, tries to run, but he won't get far. His mama cries. As the crowd gathers round, an angry young man face down on the street with a gun in his hand in the ghetto. As a young man dies on the cold and gray Chicago morning, another little baby child is born in the ghetto. Thank y'all so